Welcome to our video about the goddess Isis from Egyptian mythology. The goddess Isis is one of the most important and powerful deities in Egyptian mythology, known as the Queen of the Gods and the goddess of fertility and motherhood. Isis is revered for her wisdom and supernatural powers. In this video, we will explore the history and legacy of Isis, and how her influence has spread through the centuries. We hope you enjoy the video and learn something new about this awesome goddess. Let's begin. It is said that Isis' parents were the god Geb, god of the earth, and the goddess Nut, goddess of the sky, having as siblings Seth, Nephthys, and Osiris, who would also be her husband, and from where the greatest known myth of Plutarch comes from. Likewise, we find her as the protective mother of the god Horus, whom she also had to defend from various conflicts developed in the Nile Valley, including her own uncle Seth. Isis is one of the main goddesses of the religion of ancient Egypt, whose cult spread throughout the Greco-Roman world. She appears for the first time during the Ancient Empire 2686 to 2181 BC. As one of the main characters of the myth of Osiris, it was believed that she helped the dead to enter the afterlife as she had helped Osiris, and she was considered the divine mother of the pharaoh. Her maternal help was invoked in healing incantations to benefit the common people. She initially played a limited role in royal rituals and Egyptian temple rites, although she was more prominent in funerary rites and magical texts. She was usually portrayed in art as a woman with a hieroglyphic throne on her head. In the first millennium BC, Osiris and Isis became the most worshipped Egyptian deities, and Isis assumed characteristics of many other goddesses. The rulers of Egypt and its southern neighbor, Nubia, began to build temples dedicated primarily to Isis, and her sanctuary at Phyle was a religious center for both regions alike. Her magical power was greater than that of the other gods, and she was said to protect the kingdom from her enemies, rule the heavens and the natural world, and have power over one's own destiny. Neither Isis nor her husband Osiris were explicitly mentioned before the 5th dynasty 2494 to 2345 BC. An inscription that may refer to Isis dates from the period of Nyasarene's reign, and appears prominently in the pyramid texts, which began to be written at the end of the dynasty and whose content may have developed much earlier. Several passages in these texts link her to the Nile Delta region near Babiat el Hagar and Sebenitos, and her cult may have originated there. Isis is part of the Heliopolis Ennead, a family of 9 gods descended from the creator god, Adam or Ra, together with his brothers, Osiris, Seth and Nephthys. They form his last generation, born of Geb, god of the earth, and Nut, goddess of the sky. The creator deity, the original ruler of the world, transmits his authority through the male generations of the Ennead, so that Osiris becomes king. Isis, who is his wife and sister, is his queen. Seth kills Osiris and, in some versions of the story, dismembers his corpse. Isis and Nephthys, along with other deities such as Anubis, search for the pieces of their brother's body and put it back together. Their efforts are the mythical prototype of mummification and other funerary rites of ancient Egypt. Isis is the personification of a mourning widow. Her and Nephthys' love and grief for her brother help to bring him back to life, along with Isis' recitation of magical words. Her role in afterlife beliefs was based on those of this myth. She helped restore the integrity of the souls of deceased humans, as she had done with Osiris. Like other goddesses, such as Hathor, she also acted as a mother to the deceased, to whom she provided protection and nourishment. Thus, like Hathor, she sometimes took the form of Amentit, the goddess of the west, who welcomed the departed soul into the afterlife as if it were her child. For much of Egyptian history, male deities such as Osiris were believed to bestow the regenerative powers, including sexual potency, that were crucial to rebirth. Isis was believed to contribute only by stimulating this power. Female divine powers became more important in afterlife beliefs in the New Empire. Several funerary texts emphasize that Isis played an active role in the conception of Horus by sexually stimulating her inert husband. I hope you are enjoying the video. Remember that you can see the story of Osiris and Anubis. Do not forget to subscribe. Now let's continue. Isis is known for her role as the mother of Horus, and her reputation as a compassionate and protective deity. In Egyptian mythology, she gives birth to Horus after a prolonged pregnancy and difficult delivery, and then protects her son from many dangers, including Seth and snakes, scorpions and disease. In addition to her role as a mother, Isis was also related to other divinities and was considered the mother of various gods, such as Min and Apis. In some accounts, she is described as a powerful deity who can heal the sick and perform miracles, and her reputation as a protector of the family and the home made her popular among ordinary Egyptians. In the pyramid texts, she is described as a deity who protects and helps the pharaoh in the afterlife. In the New Empire, her prominence in royal ideology increased and she was shown in temple reliefs giving milk to the pharaoh. In the funerary texts of the New Empire, she is represented in the boat of Ra while sailing through the underworld and as one of the deities that subdue Ra's archenemy, Apep. She is also credited with magical protective power against human enemies and is depicted as the protector of the entire nation of Egypt, able to support the Ptolemaic kings and Roman emperors in their efforts to subdue Egypt's enemies. In Egyptian mythology, Isis is regarded as a deity of the universe, with a sphere of influence encompassing the entire cosmos. She is described as the protector of Egypt and supporter of the king, with power over all nations and as providing rain and revitalizing the natural world. In hymns of Ptolemaic and Roman Egypt, she is called the beautiful essence of all the gods, and describes herself as the creator of the cosmos. In the late Ptolemaic and Roman periods, many temples included a creation myth that adapted ancestral ideas about creation to confer major roles to local deities. Although many distinctive forms and characteristics are attributed to her in different cult centers, some Egyptian hymns to Isis treat other goddesses in Egyptian and Mediterranean cult centers as manifestations of her. Despite her relevance in the Osiris myth, originally Isis was a minor deity in the doctrine surrounding the living king. She played a small role, for example, in the Ramesseum dramatic papyrus, the script of the coronation rituals performed for the ascension of Sesostris I during the Middle Empire. Her importance grew during the New Empire, when she became increasingly linked with Hathor and the human queens. Until the end of the New Empire, her cult was closely linked to male deities such as Osiris, Min, or Amun. She was generally worshipped alongside them as their mother or consort and was especially prayed to as the mother of various local forms of Horus. However, she had her own independent priesthood in some places and at least one temple of her own, at the center of Osiris worship at Abydos in the late New Empire. The earliest known major temples in her honor were that of Izion at Babiyat el-Hagar in northern Egypt and that of Phile in the far south. The most frequent temple ritual for any deity was that of the daily offering, in which the priests dressed the cult image of the deity and offered food to her. Thank you for watching this video about Isis, the Egyptian goddess. We hope you learned more about this deity and her role in Egyptian mythology and religion, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more interesting videos. See you later.